What up, y'all? I am Baker. This is Up Here Radio. We got a brand new interview with a brand new artist, someone who's mysterious, unique, quite different, something that we're not used to here. Gonna get a brand new experience. This is our special guest, MO2SKi.
So, y'all, how y'all doing?
Man, welcome to the show, MO2SKi. Man, first off, I want to start off with the appearance, man. Um, in my opinion, it's pretty badass. What is the reason behind this?
You mean just the design for the mask, or do you mean just for the mask?
Yeah, the mask.
Uh, I just trying to hide. I'm never like much attention to myself, anyways, and you know, I just don't like much attention to drawn to myself. Uh, so I just try to. I don't even want to be famous. I just want I want my platform. I want like the money, of course, but I want to change the world. It's not like just I just want to become famous. I don't need anybody up in my face constantly. I don't want anyone to like. It's kind of like a worship, man. I don't want no one to worship me. Like every time you go to a concert, it's like you gotta. It's like you're at church. It's like you worshiping, which you technically are worshiping a idol.
Mm, damn. Man, we just started, ladies and gentlemen. Kick back, get your snack, get your drink. This is gonna be a very interesting, unique, badass interview right here with MO2SKi. I mean, we're gonna talk about fame. You did bring up fame and the world and how you have perceived the world. I want to get your view on that, and then money as well. But let's start off with the mask. I think the mask that you got is pretty badass. I recently dropped a reel on my Instagram, and it had a collage of different masks, and it was to let the audience and whoever got a hold of my Instagram to comment what mask they would choose. You would have the mask from Jim Carrey, you had Venom, you had Darth Vader, you had all these different type of characters with their mask. Is there any characters out there with their mask that kind of inspired you, or perhaps you have a favorite that you can tell us about?
Let's see. I kind of like I'm not an anime geek or nothing, but I do like Dragon Ball Z and Naruto. So like I got this idea from Obito, basically Obito Uchiha.
Mm,
So like the Koski, basically I just kind of like their philosophy.
yeah. And then, you know, what's so interesting too is you brought up how you don't want to be worshipped. Especially in the creative world, you got a lot of fans flocking, praising the artist, and in a way, I kind of understand maybe the artist helped save this person, right, through their music, through their message, which is pretty badass as a human to help each other out, right? But it's
Right.
like, do you believe at the end of the day there is something, no matter what it is, we do worship, or is there a way that we can avoid that, and is that even possible?
I feel like we worship ourselves. If you want to look at fashion, you want the best. It seems like everybody want to be the main character. You go out to a club event, everybody want to be the freshest. Everybody want to have you all wearing the same Jordans anyway. Like
Mm,
nobody
damn.
really want to be different. Uh, the clubs now, it just seem like the women they just want to twerk on each other. And the guys just want to look like they all balling, or they might throw in on like a section, but they all chipping in. It's not like one of y'all brought the section, y'all all chipping in for it, which I don't knock it, but why would you try to impress people like that, like for a few hours at a club?
Damn. That's a good take right there. And when it comes to ego trip, man, I feel like, do you feel like there's a way where we can have a healthy version of an ego? Is it important to at least have a healthy relationship with ourselves, to have some type of like self morale, self respect, and a self identity?
Um, I say, it's always eco versus ego. You always want to look for eco over your own self, because we all a reflection of each other. I feel like if we all made in the image of God, that means we all had the same divinity within us. Um, so you're not supposed to let nobody walk all on you. You're supposed to have some dignity, some self-respect at the same time, but you want to humble yourself to be the servant of another person. Even you could be the CEO, but act like you the servant of the janitor. Never think that you too good, because God can reverse that no matter when, where, he can reverse places.
Damn. So, I mean, off bat, we're getting a little bit of the interior of MO2SKi, the soul of it. Let's kind of take it back and do the exterior, the physical. Let's start with the name MO2SKi. Explain to the audience when that name came about and what it means.
Um, I was trying to find any name that it was already taken. I looked on Instagram, I try to find every name. Um, I do two is not my favorite number. My favorite number eight, but I do see a lot of times if we talking about angel numbers, I see triple two a lot. Um, but it's the how it sounds with the ski at the end. I just wanted it to be a little different, a little more unique.
And then you do have, if I'm correct me if I'm incorrect, you do have the O as a zero in MO2SKi.
On Instagram, yeah, because someone else got it.
Down. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So it's
yeah,
just the one number two. The rest are letters. Okay.
right, yeah.
And, and
And
then Motuski.
usually I spell like the last letter I was with a lowercase. Everything else be capital usually. Yeah.
And when did I mean, you have a few records on Spotify. We're gonna get to those records in a bit. Um, so to me, it seems like you're a new artist. You're brand new. Got new records. Yeah, the records are brand new. They haven't been here that long. When did this journey begin for you, musically, and what is your approach going forward with it?
Well, musically, I always been the type of person to reflect on my feelings, try to instead of keep it bottled up, I try to like write down what I'm going through. Whether it be like journaling, I used to do little poetry, and then I just took my hand to rap and just making it, rhyming, making it sound good. Um, but I would say it started when I was still in high school, and I was just, kept on rapping, and just at first it was just for fun, and then, you know, we might hotbox the car and we all freestyle. But after a while, a lot of people saying I was good at it. So I
Mm-hmm.
just started to put out like a little music here and there underneath a different name. And then I just wanted uh, a different look. Like I said earlier, I don't want no really much attention drawn to myself. I want to still act like a regular person. J. Cole, for instance, he's one of my favorite rappers. He ride around New York City with a bike. Like he don't really try
Yeah.
to. Yeah, he need a retwist about 5 years ago, but he still just, you know, he just doing him. But you would never think he walk. I seen interviews with him. People think he just a regular person. They don't even know this is like a multi-platinum, Grammy nominated, Grammy winning artist. And I just like that humility that he shows.
Yeah, I feel like J. Cole definitely has a cult following. He is probably one of the greatest of our generation, in my opinion. I'd like to hear your take next. Is he just doesn't receive his flowers? Like he's legit with this flow, with the storytelling, with the selection of beats. Um, why do you feel? Do you think it's because of his personality of wanting to be laid back, wanting to be human?
I feel like he could sell whenever he wants to. My bad, let me ignore this.
Okay.
Yeah, my bad about that. But I just feel like he human. He just try to, be himself. Um, shoot, what was the my bad, what was the question again?
Well, so the main point of my question was like, I feel like J. Cole is underrated. Like he isn't
Oh yeah.
praised like how Drake is or Kendrick Lamar.
Hmm. I felt like after that, that Forest Hill album, he was on top at the Forest Hill album, and then he kind of just he didn't fall off. He just, like you say, he got a cult following, so they're gonna follow him regardless.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he's not, Kendrick. To me, I like J. Cole better than Drake and Kendrick. But to other people, I can see what you're saying that Drake is more popular. He got the more radio hits. You know, he's what they say, what's that new album, Lover Boy, Certified
Oh
Lover
yeah,
Boy.
certified.
Yeah. So
Yep. Yep.
Kendrick, I feel like his flow is better than J. Cole's though. His just how he rap. But how he
Mm-hmm.
rap, he just spit like a lot of the times it's too much information to me. I'm still trying to process stuff from like, the first bar. So
Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I still like Kendrick Lamar. I used to fuck with him when ADHD, high
Mm,
power and all that.
damn. Yeah. Yup. Yup. Early days right there. Early days right there. Um, jumping back to you, MO2SKi, you talking about fame, you not really wanting to acquire it like the mainstream way of fame, right? Because you still want people to know who MO2SKi is and the message that you have. Because you did mention you want to change the world. Do you feel like? I mean, it may be too early to say, but do you feel like eventually you will reveal your face?
Yeah, it might, people be detect Inspector Gadgets and everything on the internet. They be researching, so maybe someone try to reveal it on their own, but um, that's hopefully by that time I'm gonna keep on doing music, but I just wanna be like more like Kendrick. 'Cause he stayed a little low key, he tried to stay low key, but I just wanna have my alone time. I want to be a family man, you know.
Hmm.
Just like I think Logic did the same thing. He retired.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Logic, another dope MC, and so to give the audience a little bit of background, so um, lately within the last couple years, because when I started Uphill Radio, it was 2021, right? And that first year and the year following that, I did a lot of research on SoundCloud. Would go on certain hashtags on Instagram, Twitter at the time to look for like new acts, new music, in the underground scene, the independent artist scene, and try to find gems and put them on. But after those first 2 years, I stopped researching and looking for talent because other people just message me their who they were effing with, or if they had something that was dope, their craft that they wanted to showcase. And so it's been a couple years now that that's how the formula is. And so there's a producer named Marty Man, a beat maker who I've been rocking with for some time now, for some years. He's a dope dude.
Yeah.
I actually interviewed him once. I forgot where he's from. I don't know where. I forgot what country he's from.
He's in the Caribbean. Was it Guadalupe?
Is it? I think
Yeah.
I can't put my finger on it. But Marty Matt makes incredible tough beats. He's a good ass dude, and he hit me up one day just recently. He's like, "Yo, I got this record with this artist named MO2SKi. Definitely check him out." Like when people tell me to really check this person out, this music, the craft, or whatever it is, it gets me excited. I'm like, all right, for sure. And I was already amazed on the cadence of your voice. I think you have a great voice for music. And that first record that I heard, you were really storytelling. You were saying something. And I enjoy all types of music. I don't really have a favorite, I appreciate it all really. So Motuski, like, how did how did you even find Monty Man Beats? How did that relationship grow? Go ahead and kind of take us back to that time.
Um, I was working on the album Powers and Principalities. Just recording, just keep on recording. I usually get beats from SoundClick. Um, and I buy like to support the producer. I buy the exclusive beat, and from there he was like willing to help promote it. Like once I brought the exclusive, he was willing to help promote it, try to anything he can. Like when I brought the beat for him, boom, I brought it, but then I didn't record the record. I then wrote to the song, completed it like maybe a month after I brought it, and then I didn't even you know, I recorded it also too, like 2 months after, but I didn't mix and master until like a year after. So this song NASCAR has been a little aged, a little bit. It's not like it's still a baby, but it's not no newborn. And I've just been sitting on it for a while before I even thought about, oh, let's go ahead and mix and master it.
NASCAR, yeah, that's the record that you did with Marty Man, and Marty Man, I've been tapped in with his page, so I see like a lot of the artists he does work with, and just some cool acts on there. But never has he DM'd me and be like, "Yo, check this artist out. Like, I think you rock with him." You're like the first for him to really do that, and it's incredible when someone does have like an idea of what some good stuff is. Some good talent. And so, Motuski, I wanted to say like you're a very interesting, unique artist, and you have so much complexities that we're gonna kind of talk about in this podcast. But we could both agree a human, especially an artist, is way complex, and it's like one interview doesn't justify it.
Right, yeah.
So
Thank you. I appreciate it.
oh man, you got it. You're welcome. So for the audience, when I got to really talk to Motuski in the beginning stages, getting to know him as an artist, I learned that he gets down to cooking. He is a vegan. Am I correct?
Yeah, full vegan.
Full vegan. And so, kind of let us know some new takes and how that journey began with your health.
So I was researching Dr. Sebi on how to cure diseases with medicinal herbs. Um, so I just started researching more about how he cured AIDS, HIV, sickle cell. He cured a whole bunch of list of diseases. And then the federal government tried to sue him and take him to court. So he had all these witnesses in which he cured all these patients come in to testify on his behalf that he actually did what he said he was. He actually healed all these people. Um, so I just thought that was like, out of this world because we taught so much misinformation in this pharmaceutical industry thanks to, you know, not even the Rothschilds, but it's who owns the oil? Rockefeller. Yeah,
Mm.
Rockefeller owns the oil. So basically, all the pills, all the little medicines like oil based. So they the ones who structured the curriculum of the doctors because they want to sell more oil. And at the same time, they don't want to cure nobody because that's gonna ruin their profit. So
True.
they selling more oil and creating. They're not curing the disease. They're curing the side effects. And when they cure the side effect or they, try to treat the side effect, that actually causing damage to a different part of the body. That's why when they had a disclaimer, they read through that disclaimer so fast. You
Yep.
don't know what they're saying, but like I said, they got to give you that because that's the law of karma. So they need to actually give you that information.
The law of karma. Damn, that's another great topic. If we have enough time to talk about, that's especially because you brought up your favorite number being 8. Um, I am not super knowledgeable on Dr. Sebi, but I did see enough to be like, damn, this guy definitely was a great teacher, a great doctor, self-proclaimed doctor. And I mean, from the rumors, it's that they killed him, right? Like he was too much of a blessing on humankind. Um,
Right.
like how knowledgeable you think you are with his work?
I say I'm just at the beginning phases. I'm still learning. Um, I'm trying to be on track to be a herbalist myself. Um, I take sea moss, soursop leaves, but you know, all that's from, my father. I have Jamaican roots in Ocho Rios in Jamaica, so all those herbs and everything, like I've seen them before. I already had knowledge of it, but when Dr. Savvy was preaching about it, that just made me, oh, most of these herbs are in, my country. So,
Yep,
mm,
yep. I I may be wrong, but it seems like like I love the United States of America. I got a lot of pride to be here, but it feels like the United States of America is the only place in the world where they don't want to help you with your health. They just want to put a band-aid on the situation. And it's really sad because I feel like back in the days in the 1900s, a lot of the mass population was really not as intelligent, right? Not as inclined with what's really going out there. Where now, I think we people say like we're in the age of Aquarius, where there's like so much now that we are more aware
mm,
of. More people than not, it seems these days. So it's like, okay, what is our own country doing to our bodies? Like just recently, I read an article that said that they're gonna start rolling out this, where they're getting rid of the dyes in the foods here in the United
oh yeah,
States.
that's gonna be
Um,
in like January 2026, I think. Mm.
yeah, yeah, you're correct there. So it's like we're finally kind of waking up to the old program that it doesn't work these days, and I feel like that's even another concept that's very complex as well. Just the whole United States program. But going back into like the health thing, were you always health conscious? When did this happen?
Well, I've been I used to eat fast food and all that stuff. I stopped eating pork like a long, long time ago. So I been gave up pork before I even thought about becoming vegan. But I always work out, so that's always been a part of being health minded. I just told myself to accomplish everything I want to accomplish, I need to live longer because it's a lot of stuff I want to accomplish in this lifetime. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't get to live long, or a lot of people die before they even reach 21. But, you know, that's how it is. But the journey just started from just, I didn't have any major health concerns or anything. I just wanted to live longer, just was concerned about my health. I wanted my family to live longer, but, they're not with the vegan lifestyle I'm with at all. Yeah.
It's really like anything else. It's like I heard this saying that says it takes 30 days to create a new habit or to break a habit. And so you got to reach that thresh mark. And so I'm not completely aware of the total benefits of cutting out meat completely, because that's something that is in our culture, right?
Right.
Different things like barbecues, just whatever it is, we could go on forever, especially with all the fast foods in every corner. And damn, there's so much to talk about with you, man. I just want to say, like, the energy is good with MO2SKi. You as an artist I'm very fascinated with your answers. So I just wanted to get that out there real quick. You brought up, so I did mention your favorite number being 8, and you brought up the law of karma. Now, with you being a vegan, cutting out pork a few years ago, have you noticed a change, not just physically, but like spiritually and emotionally?
Yeah, I was one of those people that trying to, open their third eye. I was trying to. I don't even use fluoride toothpaste because I got rat poison and it has to calcify your third eye, your pineal gland. I meditate. Um, you know, I felt like I almost did astral project. But I stopped it at like the last minute because I felt like if I did this, I might not be able to come back into my body. Um, so it's like a new age spiritualism that we in. Like, I don't know if it's all real. When I meditate, I do feel sincere peace within me. I feel so much peace. I see little lights when I close my eyes, just swirling around. So to me, that's just like a different experience. Listen to different frequencies on YouTube while I meditate. I use mudras, you know, which they do. The mudras do help scientifically help, like do a lot of stuff for you. Um, but when I felt like when I'm grounding everything, I just felt like it's more right. I'm connected to the earth more. I ain't not trying to make this seem like no Disney princess or nothing, but I feel like more dogs and animals will try to come up to me, or um, maybe because I increased my vibration, but before then my vibration was real low. I felt like I was drinking a lot, or well, I would drink socially, but when I do drink, if someone pissed me off, something, it something may happen which I don't want to do. It just my anger gets the best of me sometimes. Um, like when I was eating meat, some of that meat made me more angry. And but when I cut it off, I seem like I'm more cool, calm, collect. I still own that type of time, but only if like I'm approached wrong. Even when I'm approached wrong, I try to ignore it. But if I push too far, then I might take it there.
Yep, yep. And it's so crazy how everything really is all entangled. It's a big spider web. Like we're talking about so many things that are in their own right or their own subject, but it is really all tangled together. Like health is definitely a big positive in one's life. It changes you both physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And I mean, there's people out there that are atheists, but even being an atheist is a belief system. And so, like, it's still
Yeah.
part of it, you know? And with the law of karma you brought up, I would love to hear more on that in your perspective of what that is in your reality. But it's like you talked about how sometimes when people push your buttons, you were more prone to being angry when you were eating chicken or beef or pork or whatever it was. But when you're vegan, you're able to kind of like sit back in your thoughts. You'll be able to meditate a little bit better and go, okay, let me see the situation for what it is and control my emotions. But like you said, if you need to take it there, you'll take it there. I do believe that you have to protect yourself. There's a lot of very demonic people out there. But I want to hear your take on the law of karma and how it works and operates in your reality.
The first time I heard about the law of karma, um, I forgot the fighter's name, but he was famous as two brothers. They
The Diaz brothers?
nah, they from Romania, I think. He kind of looked at as like he people say like he hate woman, but he doesn't hate woman. It's like he just be realistic. He's rich and everything. He just do what he want to do. It'll come to me later, but basically he the one like he got arrested. Him and his brother got arrested, and he was talking about the law of karma. He was bringing like he was exposing a lot of stuff about the elites and everything and the law of karma. He said like this world is satanic, so they try to devalue God, and it seemed like everywhere, or they try to devalue Jesus or whoever you may serve. Um, but he talked about how they have to. The analogy he said was about the poison apples, which if he gave you a poison apple and you ate he told you it's a poison apple and you still ate it, then he don't have no karma on him. But if he gives you a
Mm-hmm.
poison apple but does not tell you about it, then the repercussions fall on him.
Mm-hmm.
So he was basically telling us about what the elites do, why when you read the ingredients, the FDA allows the ingredients to be on the food. They have, just like he said with the dyes, they tell you all this stuff is carcinogens and cancerous, is bad for your health, but a lot of people don't flip it over to check out the ingredients. But that's
Yep.
your due diligence. That's what you have to do because it's not going to be on their fault because they actually told you. Just like they
Mm-hmm.
have something in fine print. You signed a contract, like they told you it's your due diligence to read through it and to discern um between what's for you and what's not for you.
Yeah, that's why they have that saying, truth in plain sight, I believe.
Right.
So you're right. They have to. So for them not to receive the bad karma, they have to tell you for what it is, and they probably do it in a very discreet manner. But they know that for the most part, the public is lazy. They won't do their due diligence to figure it out. Especially back then, where now it feels like we're kind of getting up to speed on certain things. And with you explaining that with the law of karma and what you've learned, and I think the brothers you're talking about, are they the, is
Tate
it
Tate
the
Tate
Tates?
brothers.
Yeah, Tates.
Yeah, Tate
Yeah.
brothers. Yeah.
Yup. Yup. Yup.
Anderson Tate and yeah.
I feel like everybody who really makes an impact is like a lesson. Like there's this thing I believe in called like mystery school, and it's there to kind of teach you something. It's up to you to decide if you want to like take that, embrace it, or to decline it. It's either a one or a zero. You can't just have nothing from it. You really got to have an accept or a decline. on whatever it is, whatever the subject matter is. And one interesting fact that you brought up, MO2SKi, is with the food and the beverages, they have to have the list of ingredients, and then the same thing with the prescription pills, they have to have the side effects. And you're right, like they say it so rapidly because it's such a damn long list of problems, and it's always like the last one is always suicidal thoughts, and it's just like, huh, like how the hell? It's because it's
Yeah,
all, it's like a brain thing, right? It's like they're, it's a experiment that they're creating in the lab to try to take care of one issue, but it causes it's a cause and effect, right,
right.
with the brain. And what I'm wondering is, I think that goes for everything, especially what the one thing I want to bring up right now here. Your take on is like movies or like TV shows. It's like that has an effect, right? That has a side effect.
Yeah, they definitely like the Simpsons. They put a lot of stuff out for the Simpsons. When I talk about the grid shutting down, Simpsons, 9/11, Simpsons, they predicted Donald Trump become president before it even happened. I remember seeing Donald Trump on the Oprah. Well, I didn't remember it. It was like a flashback, or it was like a video I seen of it was in the 90s of Oprah interviewing Donald Trump, and she asked him, "Would you ever consider becoming president, or what party would you
Mm,
run for if you was to be president?" He said Republican because he said those are the, no offense to any Republicans, I'm not political or anything, but he said they don't think much. He basically just said they don't in a roundabout
damn.
way, and they don't think for themselves. They easier to persuade,
Mm,
and easier to actually, what he's doing now, he's a cult leader. Like,
damn.
I mean, I ain't saying he's a bad president though. I mean,
Right.
shit, both both Democrat and Republicans, you choosing whether you want to cut off your hand or you want to cut off your foot. Like, you need both of them. Both of them are the wrong choice. Instead
Right.
of, usually I try to do third party. If I do vote, I try to do
Right.
third party just
Mm-hmm.
to mix stuff up. Like, I'm independent, so just to mix stuff up, because I don't
Right.
feel like Democrats and Republicans should have the majority of the power. But now it's like it's either you choose us or they're gonna get their way regardless.
I think what, to make a comment from what you just said is, so I'm a God fearing man. I have my faith in what I believe in, but I do appreciate the tools that we do have in this day and age, and that one of those major tools is AI. And one thing that I do now is I use AI for everything. If I download a new app, I copy and paste the service and terms, and I give it to Chat GPT and I ask it to summarize it, simplify it, so I can understand it. What am I signing up for? Same thing with food. Check out this ingredients. What's the pros and cons? And what people don't understand is you can use AI for anything and everything, and that is included with government. What is the pros and cons of Donald Trump's campaign? What was the pros and cons of Joe Biden's? And sometimes people will start to get a reminder of like, you're not even paying attention to your own city, your own community, right?
Right.
The mayors, who you're putting in office, your judges. And so with the AI, I feel like it'll make people more humble and realize that what mostly all of us are full of shit. And it's like, take a back seat and really do educate yourself. What is your thoughts on the tool AI and where it's at right now?
I feel like it can use, it depends. I feel like it's just like that saying with the firearm. They say a gun doesn't kill nobody, it's the person who holds the gun. So
Right.
it's who's in control of the AI, who is actually the threat or actually the person helping us.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like AI could spiral out of control, just like the Will Smith I Robot scenario. and it could spiral out of control and start to create more AIs, artificial intelligence creating other artificial intelligence. I feel like with the planes going down, I feel like that's AI hack. They're not
Right.
saying it, but they have we in a warfare in which they don't use nuclear weapons anymore. They use bio weapons, and they're using AI. I feel like AI is the reason why the planes falling down. I feel like if there is a grid gonna be shut down throughout the United States, it's gonna be because of AI. They're gonna blame it because of AI. Oh, it was just hacked, or AI can do it. Like I think I told you before, it's that one show on Netflix in which the guy was prayed. He was a Muslim. This is takes place in Turkey, and he thought he was a prophet of Allah. He felt like that he had an app on his phone telling him what to do or where to go, and he was questioning this can't be Allah, but then the phone proved that that it was Allah by he was at like a mountaintop, and it turned all the city black. All the lights went out. And then at that moment,
Mm.
like the AI told him or the program told him this is what I'm about to do. So after that, he felt like it was God is using this technology to talk to me. He felt like he was an actual prophet. Um, what he was doing was good. You know, he was creating like a following. He had a platform so that we can help each other out. Everybody help each other out. But at the same time, that was a computer program controlling the whole scenario.
Damn, dude, that is insane. You said that it's a show or a movie on Netflix?
It's a series on Netflix. I can look it up right quick if you want me to.
Yeah,
It's called Kubra. Kub as in boy RA.
Cobra.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, yeah, definitely gonna check that out. I love stuff that is like kind of like Black Mirror.
Right.
Um, the first few seasons though, the later ones are all right. They're not as good as the first couple of seasons of Black Mirror. They're just so insane. But I feel like the reason why Black Mirror doesn't hit the same is because we're literally in a Black Mirror episode. Like we're in it now. You talking about Kubra and being deceived by I feel like it's just the beginning. Once they announce and make it normal that clones and robots and like hybrids with like animals are walking among us, then the deception can increase tenfold. Because
Right.
now it's in our physical reality where if we're on our phones or like on a virtual world headset or something like that, we know it could be fake. We know it could be a facade, but once it touches down into like physical existence, it's a game changer. It's gonna be game over.
That's when you know they got too comfortable.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man. So, with the topic of AI, and you did bring up the grid. Before we go forward with that, like one of the major insane things that we all had to deal with together as a human species was the COVID lockdown
Right.
2020. An insane reset, a crazy adjustment for us as a whole. Can you take us back on where you were at when you first heard about COVID? What were your thoughts? What were you doing during it? And what do you think it truly was?
I felt, to be honest, I felt like COVID was the beginning to martial law. Because everybody was, they used fear to control us just like they did with 9/11. We just gave up all of our privacy rights when 9/11 happened to fight the war on terror. Um, but when COVID happened, you remember it happened right after Kobe Bryant died. We was
Yeah.
already everybody, no matter what, sport you watch, everybody kind of felt that when Kobe Bryant died. I felt like that brought us into everybody was just like sad sometimes for no reason, and then COVID happened. I was like, oh dear, here we go. It's about to start. I'm glad I'm, prepared. I got, everything in case anything pop off. Um, all these people dying, like older elderly people, and then they came out with a COVID vaccine in which people was raising their hand, trying to wait in line, trying to get stabbed themselves with. They tell you in health class and ever since
Hmm.
when in high school or even in middle school, they said the vaccine is a dead virus. So you gonna trust someone to put a dead virus in you? But a lot of people did, debate with me saying, "Oh well, we had all these vaccines when we was babies," which we did. Um, but this vaccine has little to no research. The vaccines we was doing, they had decades of research, everything, even all the the immunizations and the vaccines we took. Maybe they helped, maybe they were harmful. I feel like if we didn't have it, we probably would have a longer life expectancy.
It's true. Yeah, I definitely agree. Like I got into this crazy like rabbit hole with like Robert F. Kennedy and his book about vaccines, and there is vaccines that do work, but they had years and years of data and tests, and this is the pros outweigh the con. Where this COVID vaccine was a brand new vaccine, and we were the guinea pigs for those who took it. And you're right,
Right.
everyone lined up. The fear worked, and the thing with this is that it had like I don't remember the term, but they had like these fake like little robots that go in your body and work as your immune system. But it's like we don't know the after effects or the aftermath and how that
Nanobots.
the nanobots. Yeah, man,
Yeah.
you know. And what if one day they just turn on a weapon switch and it activates? Like you don't. We live in a time where that's not far fetched.
Right. They got mosquitoes now that they robots. They can just target
Yeah.
specific people.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You know what's so crazy? I mean, just speaking on the new weapons that this government has, like I don't know how old it is to them and new to us, but I forgot what show it was. But I was watching the show and they're talking about that the CIA had these ice bullets where the ice has some type of like poison from like a toad or something or some type of plant. I forgot, but they put the poison in these ice droplets and they use the ice droplets as bullets in this specialized gun. So when they shoot their target, there is no bullet wound. It's just a it's you really can't see where
Hmm.
it penetrated the skin, and that
Wow.
poison ice bullet causes a heart attack or a stroke or whatever, kills the target, whoever they're trying to get rid of. And it's like that is evil, but it's genius is at the same time. It's
Yeah.
like what the what we're like I said, we were definitely in a Black Mirror episode, and just speaking on that, man, with all of the stuff that's available now that they release, AI, robots, all of that. You brought up I Robot with Will Smith, classic movie by the way. Like, how old do you think this technology is to the government and their scientists, where we're just getting it and it seems new to us?
I say at least 20 years. The cloning stuff, I remember they had that. I remember they was cloning pets first. It was like,
Yeah.
I remember seeing that on the news. If you wanna clone your pet before they die, then you can clone your pet. So I already knew like if they're doing this to animals, that means they already implemented it into humans. And then I don't know about the conspiracy thing about these rappers, if they clones or not, but
Yeah.
you'll never know because they are acting different, but maybe that's to sell records. But
Yeah.
Gucci man, like I feel like that's not him. Kodak Black, I feel like that's not him. Just to be, honest about it, I just don't feel like that's them at all. Rihanna, I don't even think that's Rihanna because why you don't even like come out with any more music anymore? You just stop. I know you like one of the richest black women and stuff, but like she
Mm.
haven't came out on a record in so long. Um, I ain't knocking ASAP Rocky, but she used to date billionaires, so now she.
Yo, for real.
Yeah, she's a
Yeah.
date billionaire. So how is she coming back to? She got way more money than ASAP Rocky, but I know they
Yeah.
had a little kiss on the little V on the award show back then. But I'm like, that might not be Rihanna. Maybe she's safe and everything, but she just didn't want to be bothered with public anymore.
Yeah. I agree with you, man. It feels like I know cloning exists. It's like, why wouldn't it? It seems pretty easy to do if I'm a scientist,
Right,
especially in these days. It's not. It doesn't seem like it's difficult to do. Um, are we actually seeing celeb clones? That would be interesting, man. Like there is no hard evidence to prove it yet. But you're right. There's great conspiracy theories out there, but it's like even like when we do find out that does exist, like we're so like nonchalant about everything that it's not going to have the same impact as it would 10,
right,
20 years ago, you know? Um, and then, but to, it's just like, this, like, we have such great conversations, man. Like, there's so much to unpack with every little thing that we say. But I want to jump back to how, so we did talk about COVID and how it was a global reset. It affected all of us. Um, you talked about the grid, and let's say the grid goes out, right? That means all electricity's out. That people don't realize that everything is connected electronically, like everything.
right.
There goes your money, there goes your lights, there goes your sense of security, your protection, all of that, and then you realize, okay, who's your real community? Are you prepared? Can you tell us what? There's a lot that I want to talk about in this topic right here. The first thing I want to ask you in regards to this subject is, do you think this? Because obviously it will happen, especially with
Right.
the lockdowns where I brought it up. Do you feel like this can happen before or after the rise of AI having like a sentient or intelligence?
I feel like AI already got that intelligence. We just don't know it yet. So when Russia and China, they was doing this was like a couple of years ago. They was doing like a rehearsal in which I felt like that's more war preparation. They was all the way over in Alaska, and nobody really talked about it. They wasn't spreading headline news, but all it takes for them to do is like to deactivate something, using AI or some other technology to deactivate the grid. They already own like part. They own a slab of land in the United States already. We so
Mm-hmm.
much in debt to them. We had to give them land inside the United States. You don't know what they might be doing with that.
Mm-hmm.
TikTok. You don't know what's what you do when you sign up for TikTok. That could be like part of their plan, but
Yeah.
um, that's gonna be the new way to control people using AI. Like AI gonna take over all the jobs. No more CDL. Everybody want to get a CDL driver, but they already got trucks driving themselves. So how much longer you gonna get?
Yep.
You gonna spend all this money to get a CDL, and then maybe 2 years later, they're gonna come out with those trucks. Everybody gonna start instead of paying a person a salary, I'm just gonna get a robot to drive it.
Damn. That's yeah. Yeah. That goes back to like the original point of like AI is pe- people are like they have what they're interested in and think how AI will affect that, but the truth is AI is gonna change the entire world.
Yeah, it already has.
It already has. Do
Yeah,
you feel like so to jump back to the grid going off and kind of like giving us like the Last of Us vibe? If people are interested in the video game The Last of Us, brand new series on HBO. Season 2 just dropped. I haven't seen it yet, but The Last of Us vibe or something or I Am Legend with Will Smith,
yeah,
OG movie. Do you feel like that kind of reality will happen in your lifetime?
yeah. I feel like it would happen. I would say maybe even this year. I just had an eerie feeling about it like last year. I had a dream about it happening to everybody, like going off, stealing cars. Um, they just breaking in, doing what they want, like anarchy. Everybody just nobody control them. So therefore, that's population control because people want to start offing people off at an enormous rate. That's what the purges basically was warning people about, but it's getting you used to it. So it becomes a norm. And whoever is the most prepared are the ones who and most organized are the ones who's going to survive.
The interesting yeah, the purge was for sure getting us prepared for an experiment that's soon going to be taking place. But I feel like let's say the grid went off and it's like The Last of Us or I Am Legend 10 years ago or 20 years ago. I feel like it would be very cutthroat caveman vibes where I feel like if the grid were to go off 20 years from now, it's not us against man, it's us against machine.
Right.
You brought up
Mm.
martial law. I thought 2020 was gonna be more insane than it actually was. The lockdown was insane, but I thought the worst. I thought like Resident Evil. I thought martial law. I thought they're gonna come knock on our doors, demand that we take the vaccine and have no choice. I thought it was gonna get really ugly,
Right.
and I feel like if they were to enforce martial law now and for it to have such a significant impact, it would have to be a global thing again, a global event, not just a United States thing. I feel like there's not enough manpower without destroying a city or destroying a state. Where if we're in a getting close to the future with AI and robots, that's when martial law could be even more insane. Where we really can't run away from it, especially with the drones and the robot
Mm.
dogs and just like everything that they have now. Do you feel like we would still like if the grid were to go off right now? Would we be okay not having to worry about that yet and just worry about going against other humans?
Yeah, I think it would just be other humans for now. If the grid did shut off. But you never know. They just introduced AI, but they've been had it. Any technology they come out with, they sit on it for some time before they ready to implement it. So they could already have stuff in place. They already got robot dogs and they got the Tesla robots already. So you could say if they got Tesla robots, they already got like a little army to control. And it's not like you could be the biggest dude, you could lift the most weights, you could be the
Right.
best boxer, UFC or whatever. You're not gonna be like no robot.
Oh
You
shit.
be yeah, you can be
Yeah.
the most strapped and
Yeah.
everything.
I I feel like we all definitely have a role to play. Like I'm not sure. Are you familiar with like Lord of the Rings?
I only watched like half of the first one. Yeah, but it's kind of like Harry Potter, kind of a
Yeah.
little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, or like Dungeons of Dragons. Like there's all kinds of different games that the point I'm trying to make is that everyone has a role to play. Like you have the hobbits who are small, but they can like set up traps and be very sneaky. Then you have the giants who are very strong, but they're kind of stupid. And then you have your intelligent people who are like antisocial, but they know how to like create weapons or experiments. So like everyone definitely has a role to play. The grid goes off right now, MO2SKi. What role do you think you would play, and are you ready? Are you prepared for such an event?
Yeah, I feel I'm prepared to last some days. Like I won't when everybody killing each other off. I can like, wait it out because I have like the dehydrated food. I got a lot of that. The light straws. You know, try to stack up on water. Um, you know, other, firearms, the Second Amendments type stuff. But everybody's strapped up now, so you can't really say like everybody got guns now. So someone always gonna have a bigger gun. Shit, they got switches now. You just, you know, who knows what else they got. A lot of this stuff is illegal. You can't even have silencers. It just depends on who's the most prepared, who's been stocking. Instead of buying Jordans, you buying weapons. Instead of buying, Versace, Balenciaga, you know, buy food, buy batteries, crank radio so you can keep in touch. You can know what's going on.
I may be using the wrong word here, maybe not. I feel like because what you just said was perfect. It's like people are they have their minds and their hearts on the wrong things, but it's like what you just said, like to be equipped and prepared for such a time. That's the flex right there, right? Like
Right? Yeah.
look what I have here. My currency is seeds. Like these seeds can grow produce. It can grow. It can harvest. Where you're over here collecting hats or whatever the heck the case may be, because of the program. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to blame people because they're just naive and ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
You know. But MO2SKi, you brought up some like amazing things. Um, for the audience that's watching and now they're intrigued and they're getting a reality check. They're telling themselves, "Damn, I'm not prepared. If the grid would go off, I don't even have a flashlight." Like, what is a list that you recommend to the person who's not interested to get prepared for such an event?
I would say make sure you got batteries, flashlights, or get the crank radios. That's just like the flashlight. You have the flashlight in it. You get solar lanterns. Anything you can get solar powered. Like the crank radios, I got one that's solar powered, but it can still you can charge it up still. Um, you can get solar panels, uh, portable solar panels and stuff. You can look them up as different ones. I got portable solar panels in case, and bigger solar panels. Um, so have that. I mean, a lot of people can't afford solar panels because they're expensive. But I would say have some dehydrated food. Stock up on cans, a lot of cans. Bullets, because I don't promote. Well, I do promote violence because my music is in it, But I wouldn't say commit violence, but if you got all these necessary equipment to survive, and the next person don't, they're gonna try to take it from you. And if you don't give it up, they might just kill you on sight. They're not gonna really wait to, oh wait, you can have it. They just gonna go ahead and do it. So you gotta make sure you have bullets, you have ammunition. Make sure don't just you know make sure you can aim right. Make sure you get your aim right too. Um, let's see what else. Life straws. Like I got a couple right here. I have some life straws too. Um,
What's a live straw?
you can use it to it's like a filter. You can use it in like the creek. So if you see
Mm.
here, this guy drinking from like a creek and it's filtering the water out. Usually you have to like boil the water, but with this you can just like drink straight out the pond. If you find like a still body of water or a river, and it help. I think each one of these straws is they do 1,000 gallons, or
Oh,
that's
that's good.
4,000 liters in each straw. I gave some of them away, but I got more. This is just for like example. Yeah, but have a plan, have maps too. You want maps. So in case you have to travel, yeah. You can't have no
Yo,
GPS at all. That's not gonna help.
yes, dude, that's such a underrated item you just said, maps. Damn.
Yeah. People don't even use maps. Like like I don't think they even teach that in school anymore because people got GPS. Like
Yeah.
I know my mom and them, my parents, they study maps, but I don't
Hmm.
remember them teaching us how to do no maps.
Yeah, I remember my parents having maps when I was a child. You know, they would pull out the big ass map and get to the destination, and that's insane to think that that's a we forgot about maps. That's so important. And dude, I guarantee most people do not have a map.
And
They don't. Shit, that's a
and
great
it's
list.
yeah, it's so cheap to buy it too off of Amazon. You know, have
Yeah.
emergency starter fires because you shouldn't learn how to do it by yourself. It's like a video online about like putting rice in a glass, wine glass, put some rice and some water, and they put a Q-tip. They put like a
Mm.
Q-tip in it. I forgot all the instructions, but they lit the Q-tip and it lasted for like days. Yeah.
Yeah,
Make sure you
that's
have
insane.
the blankets too. It's like it's some space blankets in which to keep you warm, so you don't need to that. My bad for interrupting you though.
No, you're good. And everything that you named, I mean, besides ammunition, is affordable. Like to get some good batteries that could last a long time. Uh, you brought up dry food. Like a lot of these things, like the blankets you brought up, like they have like these small blankets in these boxes that when you open it, it's like a huge ass blanket. It's like these things are not that expensive, especially when you brought up how like we're spending our money on the wrong things.
All
It's like
right.
really have your eyes on the prize on moving forward. I feel like this interview, man, is really gonna wake people up, you know, because they're gonna be interested with just how you answer these questions and even the questions that are arising here. But for everyone that's watching right now, if you made it this far in the interview, like comment down below if you even know where the sun rises and where it sets. Like
All
you
right.
should
Yeah.
even know that, you know, and most people don't. Um, yeah, like one thing that just came to my mind right now is a compass. That's another thing that's very important to have. We're
Yeah.
just so used to everything being on here.
Yeah. Even some of the crank radios with the flashlights, mine has a little compass on the end of it. So if
Yeah,
you can get all of them in one gadget, that's what I recommend. Cause you're not gonna have you're gonna be some people gonna be by themselves. You gotta carry all this stuff
right.
by
Yeah.
yourself. One issue I know I'm gonna have if it does happen is that people gonna see my solar panels outside, then they gonna try to run up and get my stuff,
Right.
But that's when you need protection to keep them away at least. But that might not even work, you know.
Damn.
But you know,
Yeah. And yeah, you want to be able to, with the equipment that you have, you want to utilize it in the proper way. You brought up the crank radio. It's like, I think the one I just found, it does have the flashlight, it does have the compass on it. And for people who are watching, like that crank radio, I don't remember how much it cost. I think it's like, it could be between like $5 to $20. But
right? Yeah,
believe us when we say like when the grid goes off, that $5 radio is now worth hundreds of dollars in those times. It's currency.
Right,
Changes
yeah.
everything.
Especially, like the US dollar is going down.
Yep.
They had the bricks. If you ever heard of the bricks, it's going to basically turn the whole world economy upside down. So it's going to be like, Saudi Arabia and, Dubai, all them countries, they're going to be like the richest because they have all the oil and they have all the gold.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, Africa, they're not in control of their resources. Colonizers are. So they actually the most wealthiest continent, but unfortunately they don't have the power to take back their resources.
Yep.
And that's
Yep.
another thing that should be changed. Like,
Mm-hmm. And the sad thing about it is, it's facts. Everything you just said is factual. It's not even a theory, or it's a fact. The thing is, every part of the world has its own resources and what it can provide. But the truth is, Africa, I heard, is where the center of the land was, where everything was put together before it broke away.
yeah,
And so,
Pangea.
yeah, and like, I'm pretty sure that's a fact. That's a real thing. And it's like, how do we even get back to giving the people who are born in Africa their resources? That is their God given right.
Right.
You have these other people from other parts of the world going, no, that's mine, just because they're in a different position where they have control over it. And that's a whole man. That's a whole other conversation that can lead to a whole new interview as well. But like, just in the word control, and us talking about, are people equipped? Are they ready for the grid to go off and us live in some crazy times? It's like, what people will choose opportunity over loyalty.
Yeah, yeah. That's human nature though. Like people gonna think like that. Survival.
It is survival, and I think what's important too that people don't understand is, you really have to hone in that it's it's it sucks that it's true, but most people lean that way, where it is opportunity over loyalty. But that's why you have to use your intuition. For me, we call it the Holy Spirit, but use
All
your
right.
gut. Like, you have to follow that. That's the reason why we have that. Like, because the grid goes down, who could you trust? You can't. You could be like a Will Smith character, where you're on your own. You got your trusty canine or whatever, or are you gonna be the type to kind of build a community, and then that turns. It's like, it just gets really insane. Like, what moves you will make. But there's so much to unpack here with you, MO2SKi. Like, I've known you. I got to know you as a musician, as an artist. You have a few records on Spotify that I want to talk about in just a second. But I just want to tell the audience, like, MO2SKi is a very fascinating artist, not just a musician, just an artist. On like the knowledge that he has and how he uses his mind is just simply incredible. So me saying that, MO2SKi, you being the musician, but still not wanting the fame really, but wanting success and wanting to change the world. Two things at the moment is, how do you want to change the world? And number two, is you being a musician the end game, or is that something to open up new opportunities?
The music is a way to get my foot in the door so I can get a platform. It's a hobby, which is a passion of mine that I will always have. One of my first loves, but it's also a gateway for me to help other people try to. I'm not gonna say like I'm a leader, but I want to at least help spark the leader, something in his head or her head so she can start leading us right. I'm not saying like I had to be in control or anything. I just want to like help because you're a reflection of me. I'm a reflection of you. Like we need to help each other. That just like in the Bible, it says, trust thy neighbor, do good upon your neighbor. Like you need to. I feel like people should do that.
And I love that answer. It's because what's so sad is that the musician gets the short end of the stick. Like they don't get the right funds for their art, where other artists and with different crafts like film or art pieces or design inventions, like they get their money. They're well deserved money. Artists get well deserved money, but it feels like the vocalist, right, the musician, they get the short end of the stick.
Right. Mm.
Uh, and with that being said, I love that you answered that you're just trying to get your foot in the door to unlock more. And one thing I want to touch on before this interview ends is quantum physics and what it actually is and your thoughts on that. But for the records, man, you do have 3 records available right now on SoundCloud, which is it's not that many songs. What is the purpose on you releasing a record, and why at the moment it's only 3 songs?
Um, People's attention span is not that big. I follow a guy. His name is Jesse Cannon. He's in Brooklyn. He actually talk about like he's in the industry. He's not no musician, but he's in the industry. He talks about like sometimes when you have so many records, it kind of like too much information. It kind of discourages people from listening to you. Um, a lot of people may not want to take you seriously. They just saying you just doing whatever and seeing what sticks, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But with me, I'm trying to, you know, get people used to, oh, like, Surah Yacht 5039. That's something that's not like trap or anything. So it's just different. It just what I was going through in my life and my past experiences in my life. And also the other 2 songs, NASCAR and Black Suits, they talk about the state of mind I used to be in before I turned vegan, before I was lost to the world. I turned my back on God, or I turned my back on Allah a couple times. Um, I'm still trying to get right with him, trying to get back, but it's only gonna be so many times he forgive you. I don't know if I'm too late for that or not, but I feel like some of the music I put out, it will, it's him telling me to, put out, because I didn't make these lyrics on my own. It has to be a reason why it was catchy like that, or why, I put the pen to the paper, started writing like that. So I felt like I told God, it's like, look, whatever you want to put out, use me as an instrument, use me as a utensil. So I'm not perfect. I talk about trap, killing, drugs, sex, and all that too. But I'm from the world too. I lived in the sin, I lived in the darkness, so I feel like these what teardrops are for, like it just hides my pain.
It's true. I love that answer. And because it's only 3 records, I recommend that the listener, if you're new to MO2SKi and his craft, definitely check out all 3 records. Usually, I ask an artist, um, what record should the fan listen to for the very first time. But the 3 songs, y'all listen to the full thing and just add your favorite to a playlist. And I feel like I think I just learned that on Spotify you can leave comments now. I may be wrong, I'm not sure, but that's pretty dope. If you can leave a comment, y'all, let
Right.
MO2SKi know your how you feel about the record. But you did mention May 1st we're getting a new record by you, right?
Yeah, it's called Rod of Iron, and it's inspired by the Bible, just like the Surah Yat. It's inspired by the Quran. So I got a lot of biblical scriptures I put in there. Um, the time, I actually read a lot of the Bible when I was locked up before, so I feel like at the moment that was the only book that they will give you for the moment. So I felt like I learned a lot. If I wasn't locked up, I wouldn't have read that. I wouldn't have had the time. You had nothing but time in there, so it gave you time to reflect and actually get. That's when I was actually my closest to God. I felt like I was in the Holy Spirit. I could hear God like that when you isolate yourself from the world distractions.
Hmm.
Um, but I forgot that one verse. Be still, and draw close to him, and he'll draw close to you. And you know, I talked with this like the Bible. I kind of talked about this subject to a couple people about like sometimes I feel like the Bible might be like a form of magic, or
Hmm.
because it's really like some of them is like spells. I feel like because like it's one I think it's Matthew 18:23. It was like when two or more of you come together in my name, there I am in their midst. And when I was in jail, like I asked my mom to pray with me. Like I didn't have like much support, just some family member, and I asked them to pray for me. I felt like that came together and to give me a better outcome.
I love that you said that. I just had a conversation on what you just mentioned, like, and it kind of brought up the reason why I want to talk about quantum physics as well. It's like a chef has his cookbook. He goes to school to learn how to cook for the most part, but they have their books. Witches have their spell books. Everything that you practice, they have a book for it. And you brought up the Quran, right? Or that's for Muslims, right?
Yeah,
I'm not sure. And for us Christians or Catholics, we have the Bible. Or even the Jewish people have the Old Testament,
yeah,
and it is a spell book. It really is. You because you're deciding, okay, do I want to speak these words into existence? Do I want to manifest it when I speak it out loud? And do I choose to believe it? And when enough people believe in something, it comes into fruition. And when you brought up having two or more have gathered, it makes it that much more powerful. If I go, I'm great, and I believe it, I'm pretty sure I'll be great. But if I have my family and friends behind me that think I'm great as well, and we speak it into existence, and we're in sync with prayer and just conversations, it just becomes that much more amplified. There's a
mm,
lot of power in that. So I
yeah,
love that you said that, and that goes back to the quantum physics side of things. So scientists have discovered that quantum physics, like this little, I'm not using the right terms, but like little atoms everywhere, right? That you can go through that is together like a spider web. Everything is connected. I have a quantum physics atom that's connected to you and Donald Trump or whoever. We're just all connected, and that's why prayer reaches whoever it is, wherever they're at. It doesn't even have to be in the same state. You could be on the other side of the country. Or sometimes, let me know if this happened to you, where you're thinking of someone and they'll hit you up, they'll text you, or they give you a phone call.
yeah, right, yeah. The law of attraction.
The law of
Yeah,
attraction. Yes.
yeah, you're right about that.
I want to kind of. I don't know if you heard about this, but like, there's a part in Europe where they had these Christians praying next to an abortion clinic, and they made it illegal for them, for you to pray around that facility. And people in the comments were like, "How the hell are you gonna stop me from saying a prayer in my head and make it illegal?" And that just shows you how powerful a prayer could be. And it kind of goes back to it's both pros and cons. That's why I brought up witches and their spells. Like they
Right.
can say negative things, and if you choose to believe it, like if you believe black cat is bad luck or the number 13 is bad luck, it's actually gonna happen. You're gonna get because you're believing in it. You're manifesting something that other people believe in. It's a power structure. Do you have any experiences in that kind of realm, and what's your thoughts behind it?
I feel like a lot of it's be spells. Like when I grew up in a Baptist church with my family still Baptist. Um Later I did convert to Islam and everything too. But I'm spiritual, I believe in God, which Muslims also read the Old Testament, the Bible too. They still do that. But I had experienced a couple like twice in which I was prophesied in the church. They said I would be like an instrument of God or whatever. And here I'm writing music about God. It's not all my music not about God, but a good percentage of it is about God. So I'm wondering, was that some type of spell, or I didn't really, or is that really free will? Did I have a choice on that, me choosing that, or is that something that they all, even my family was in on it? So is that something that they all conspired on to wish down upon my life? Yeah,
You
and
know,
just like, go ahead, yeah.
I was gonna say with like that, with what you just said, or just like the last conversation that we've been having this last 5-10 minutes, and you being used as an instrument by God, and you naturally wanting to help change the world for a better place. Like you said it yourself, like if you need to protect yourself, law of karma, like it seems like you got a good head on your shoulders and you understand the humanity of it, like we're not perfect, but you're doing your what you think is best. Do you feel like you have free will, or is everything set in stone?
I feel like it could be everything set in stone. Because we had deja vu. That's basically, some say that's basically you in another dimension, or maybe some people say that's like you live in the same life again. I just feel like maybe you know your destiny was already wrote out, because in the Bible it does says gave us free will, but it also says in Jeremiah, for he know the plans he has for you, plans to prosper you and not to I think not to destroy you, to that nature. So if he already know the plans, he already put stuff in your path to convert you back to where
Mm-hmm.
he wants you to be. It's like I think it was like with the ant or a spider. They did like a line on the pavement, and the ant followed
Mm.
the line, or thought it was
Yep.
stuck in the line. And they did the same experiment with fleas when they
Mm-hmm.
put a cup over fleas, and they got so used to it hitting that limit, they
Yep.
thought that was the new norm. So when they took the glass away, they kept on that same distance, that same they like
Yep.
it never even left. So I
Yes.
feel like we get pushed into some stuff happen into our life, like in which it gets you closer to God. I had to be broken. God can't use anything that's not broken. So you had to be at the lowest of the lows. Like you had to be like almost dead. Basically, you had to be dead and be born again. And
Yep.
yeah.
Man, that's beautifully said right there. You know, Yeah, speaking on me for a second, like I'm a very busy person. I got so much going on, but I at least give myself a day at the week or a day out of every 2 weeks where I'm not doing nothing. I'm just like chilling. I just no work, everything's off. Because I do believe you need a rest. It's important to
Right.
recharge. But a friend of mine just said yesterday that he wish. I think it was yesterday or the day before that he went. I wish I wasn't tired. I wish I could just be great all the time. And I told him my response was like, you would go insane if that was the case. Like you need a balance and different emotions and different feelings.
Right.
You
Yeah.
can't. And like you said, like you need God uses the broken, uses the hurt because they're the ones that have their hand out to grab whatever it is they believe in. If you're up here all the time, you're not even paying attention.
Yeah. You're right. And that. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, we've had a great discussions, great conversations. Before we wrap up, let's kind of give it a little bit more of a joyful tone, a little bit fun part of the segment here where the fans and the new people can learn a little bit more about you on the cool side of things. MO2SKi, if you don't mind. Let's go ahead and start off with do you have a favorite movie?
I would say, Ashton Kutcher with Effect. Even that's an old movie and everything. I seen it like later on in life, but I was like, wow, it was so trippy. Like
Yeah.
it was just so yeah, it was
Yeah.
just so trippy.
I love movies like that get you like scratching your head. Like, what the
Yeah,
hell? Yeah, that's a great one right there. That's a good one right there. If no
yeah.
one's watched that movie, if you guys are watching, definitely check out that movie. It's a great one. Um,
But now I'm more
but
into like series and stuff more. Yeah.
yes, dude. Yes. I'll watch a movie if it looks really fascinating. I try to avoid trailers at all costs. But nowadays, I'm like you, where I have to watch a series because I need
Right.
detail. I
Right.
need a
Yeah.
stretched out story. Is there any good series that you're watching or that you have watched?
On Netflix, it's Alice in Borderland and Glory. They like some Korean films, South Korean films, like, and they got some conspiracy theories in that too. You like, wow, like it
Damn.
just flips your whole head up, have you asking more questions. I think it's another one called the 4400 or the 100,000, something like that.
I've seen that one.
Yeah, that makes me think about like all the stuff we were just talking about, the grid shut down.
Yeah.
You had to basically start anew. Because they even said
Mm.
that in the Bible, the Tower of Babel. I feel like that's a reset. Like
Yeah.
God probably reset every so often. They say to pull
Hmm.
switch or shift,
Yeah.
and then society has to go back to get back with nature.
Damn. Yeah, I've heard that take before where it's like there's like a reset like every few thousand years or something like that.
All right.
That's insane. What
And
about
yeah.
go ahead.
I say even before that, they talk about they had far, they have like the technology that's far
Oh
beyond
yeah.
what we got now.
Yeah.
Like just think about it, yeah.
Yeah, I often say every now and then I'm like, yo, was Star Wars a future movie or a movie of the past?
Right,
Like that whole I think it could have been a thing in the past. I actually do believe that. I feel like we're just so advanced. I mean, for us to even be here, it's just incredible. Superhero powers, man. Which one would you choose?
I would probably choose. Do I get one or
Let's make it top three.
top three? I would say invisibility, teleportation, and telekinesis. Cause I would say flying, but if you have telekinesis, you can like lift yourself up like Jean Grey and like just start flying and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Damn, you would be unstoppable with those three powers right there, dude.
Yeah.
Damn. Shit. That's true. Like I rather just like teleport than have wings or something. I mean, having wings would be pretty badass too, but I agree with you there. Let's say Donald Trump decides to go crazy, man. Him and China, they press the nuclear button. The world's gonna end in 24 hours. What does your last meal look like?
I'll be trying to find a way to get out of here, to be honest, but I want to live. I'm about to go. Yeah, I'm
Yo,
about to
for real.
drive up to DC to the White House, try to look for him or something. Like, not just to have a conversation though. It's just have a conversation talking about.
Uh,
Yeah, at least try to. Like, I know I won't be able to get that close, but
yeah.
yeah, but
Damn, dude. That's a funny answer.
but my last meal maybe be I would say maybe some like oyster mushrooms or something like that. You know, fried oyster mushrooms. That we call that vegan fried chicken.
Ooh, man. It's a weird thing with me. It's like I go through seasons with mushrooms where it's like there's times where I love it. I just can't get enough of it. And then there's a
Mm.
season where I'm like, I cannot eat this. I want to hear your take on that, but I did hear it's because my body says I already have enough of the nutrients a mushroom can provide.
Um, that's that's the first time I heard that before. Cause a lot of people be like, oh, I don't like mushrooms, and they don't want them on their salad or nothing. But is it just is it just portobello mushrooms, or that you don't like, or is it all of them?
It's all the mushrooms. Like there's I love all types of different mushrooms. I don't know the names of them, but there's like three, four different versions that I've had. Taste so good, cook them differently, and
Mm.
then there's moments where I'm like, I can't even try to chew this.
Um, that's the first time I heard about that, to be honest.
Oh shit!
Um,
Damn, I gotta
yeah,
watch it.
but I feel like maybe it's some mushrooms I haven't even tried. It's one called chicken of the woods that's supposed to taste just like chicken. Lobster mushroom that tastes like lobster. I would say try to
Damn,
switch it up, but I don't know why your body. Maybe the body craving meat, maybe or
that may be
mm,
it because yeah, I do. I mean, I'm not a big meat eater. I really change it up. Really, sometimes I'll just do juice, or I really do switch it up. I love food. That's my problem. Is I always switch it up. But the thing is, with that instance with the mushrooms, that only happens with mushrooms, tomatoes, and eggs. Everything
mm.
else I'm fine. But those three items I just named, there's seasons where I just eat it, eat it, eat it, and then there's times where I just cannot have it or even think about having it.
Oh, okay. So it's not like you're having too much of it. You're not getting
No.
sick of it too. It's just that you just
Yeah.
okay. I see now. Yeah, maybe your t taste buds just didn't, anticipated. They ain't trying to have it right then and there. Some
Yeah.
yeah,
That could be it actually. I haven't really looked into that because the taste buds do change like what every 90 days or something.
yeah. They die and then new ones are made.
Man, so MO2SKi, man, I had such a great time, man. The pleasure was mine having you on here. Thank you for your energy, for your time, for your stories, for your input. For everyone watching, definitely check out MO2SKi's art. Check out his music. Check out his page on Instagram. And if you highly enjoyed this interview, like it. Comment down below what your favorite part was. If you have any questions for MO2SKi, and if you think you know people who may be interested in just the interview, share the interview. If you want to add songs to the playlist, please do so. Eventually, when the time is right, I'll definitely get MO2SKi on again, get an update. I mean, we could be on here for hours just talking.
All
He's
right.
you're super intelligent, bro. You have a lot to
You are
say.
too.
You've gone, thank you, MO2SKi. I do truly appreciate that. But for the audience, man, for the new viewers, the new fans, The floor is yours.
Right now, I'm trying to get my SoundCloud back up. It's temporarily been suspended. It might be underneath a new page.
Mm.
Um, SoundCloud messed up something up their end, so I had to contact them, but they so hard to get in contact with. So just be patient while I get that up. Like I said, Rod of Iron dropping on April the 1st. After that, it's gonna be four more songs I dropped for this album, Powers and Principalities. I already really got the second project already written down. Some of it have been recorded already. The next project is gonna be talking about like, narcissists, uh, trauma bonds. It kind of relate on what narcissist is. Like narcissists are in the Bible they try to say they Jezebel spirit, which can be a male or a female. And it talks about the spirit of Jezebel, the spirit of Leviathan, the Python spirit, and all that stuff. I'm going to talk about all this stuff in my next project too.
Man, we're gonna be looking forward to that. I didn't know that you were dropping these singles for it to be an album, so that's even cooler,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
I like that.
yeah.
Fire.
Thank you,
But
bro.
yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate you giving us your time and your energy. So everybody, thank you so much for watching. I am Baker. This is MO2SKi, and this was Up Here Radio.
I got like these emergency blankets, like
Oh yeah.
I'm I prepare
Yup.
like crank radio. You wanna? I'm always
Yo.
prepared. Like you can't be out here lacking. You feel me? You gotta
Mm-hmm.
you pull the star five.
Damn.
I feel like you gotta have everything up in here. You gotta
Oh shit. You
yeah,
ain't playing.
and definitely get some of these the light straws and stuff for water.
Fire.
Yeah.
Damn. Putting people on right now, that's a smart investment.
Yeah, I got electrical, like get like a solar I got like a solar generator and stuff too. They come with little solar panels and stuff. But then it's gonna come at a point which you're gonna have to protect your other people gonna be trying to take it from you though. So you're gonna have to protect
Yup.
yourself from people trying
Yup.
to take it from you. I'm teaching you how to cook curry jackfruit that resembles curry goat. Blend all the ingredients on the screen. I'm using all my cilantro and parsley. I ain't wasting nothing, you heard? Then we gonna toast the allspice and coriander seeds to release their flavor and crush them, set them aside. You feel? Then we're gonna dice your onions. I usually dice all my veggies before I even start cooking. I'm using the full size vegetable chopper. It also keep you from crying when you cutting your onions. Full star, y'all owe me one for this review. Y'all need to pay me, you heard? Yeah. Add oil to a non-stick pot, then add the toasted spices as well as the other spices listed on the screen. And no, I don't measure, season, I let the ancestors guide me. Sometimes you gotta eyeball the work. If you know, you know. You feel? Now grab that green paste we made and pour it in a pot. Keep stirring and cook it till it starts turning brownish. They call me Mr. Pot Scraper. I'm scraping all the corners. Now you want to drain your jackfruit while that's cooking. Now keep stirring the green paste occasionally. Add your 1.5 cups of vegetable broth. Add 1 diced russet potato, 1 diced sweet potato, 2 chopped carrots, about 6 garlic cloves. You can mince the garlic if you want, which I did. Small amount of water, Maggi, which adds a lot of flavor to this. If you want less gravy, add less broth. A couple tablespoons of better than bouillon vegetable broth. You see, I did more than that. Then add 1 can of unsweetened coconut milk. Add the chopped Scotch bonnet pepper
in time, then stir. Sometimes you gotta spank the can, that's 3 cents of coconut milk. Like Julius on Everybody Hates Chris. That used to be my favorite show though. Then stir well. You hear that sound? That's how I be making your girl sound. Cook it with MO2SKi, cook it with MO2SKi. Now a little bit more sea salt. Here's the final piece of resistance. Thank you for watching.